Ibrahim Fatil, you're liaison director for the political movement Hamas. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, the Hamas that you represent is quite distinct, as I understand it, from the terrorist organization of the same name.
Oh, yes. We are purely a political organization.
So you're two quite separate entities?
Oh, yes, quite separate. I mean, for example, we're on different floors. So we're on the third floor and they are in the basement.
Do the two organizations ever get confused?
Oh, occasionally. I mean, sometimes we'll get a parcel for them and I'll take it downstairs very, very carefully. And sometimes they'll get an invitation from the UN and they'll bring it up to us.
If we can turn to the charter of the organization, I'd like to quote to you from one of its articles. Israel will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. That's pretty strongly worded.
Oh, you think that's strong? You should read it in the original Arabic.
But do you mean it? Do you really want to wipe Israel out?
Absolutely. I know people have difficulty accepting this, but we're very clear about it. I mean, our leaders say it, our charter says it. We want to wipe out Israel and expel all the Jews.
But if that's your position, why should Israel negotiate with you?
Oh, because in Gaza, we're the moderates. Oh, yeah, I mean, some of the other groups are nuts. I mean, you wouldn't want to talk to them.
Let me talk to you about Gaza. When you see that situation, how do you feel?
Oh, well, terrible, obviously. I mean, ever since I was a young boy, I've wanted to do something about it. In fact, for many years, I dreamed of becoming a martyr myself.
And why didn't you?
Well, I failed the physical. I mean, it's not easy to get into one of these elite suicide units. I mean, I know one young man who failed and was so distraught, he killed himself.
Let me turn to your approach to Israel. Israel pulled out of Gaza in 2005, and yet you continued to fire rockets into Israel. Were you surprised by the Israeli reaction?
Surprised? We were shocked. I mean, we thought they'd retaliate much sooner. I mean, it took almost 7 years. I mean, I remember standing on the hospital roof, firing our 5,000th rocket, and thinking, how long is this going to take?
Why do you want to provoke the Israelis?
Well, because if we don't provoke the Israelis, there won't be a war. And that would be a real disaster for us.
Why?
Well, if there wasn't a war, people would judge us on our treatment of women, on our killings of our rivals, on our summary justice. When there's a war, none of that matters.
Ibrahim Fatil, thank you.
My pleasure.